Greetings, friends! My name is, of course, Charles Q. Banks, and I'd like to welcome you to a little vlog that I'm doing. It's probably the most casual vlog I've ever done, and may ever do. I'm currently in my robe, and if it's still Thanksgiving by the time this video comes out, happy Thanksgiving to you. But for those who aren't, then happy day to you. I just wanted to very quickly address something that is in the news right now, and I would have gotten all ready and prepared for it. This is just me shooting from the hip, so I'm sorry if the video or audio is janky in any way, but I just wanted to get this out quickly because I know that the more people start talking about it, the more confusing this issue can get, and that is the issue of net neutrality, the current issue of net neutrality. If you are, any level of computer internet analyst or someone who just keeps up on the news about internet law, then you'll know that in the past 15 years it's been kind of an issue that the government has been trying to nail down in law just how to deal with the internet. And one law that took place that helped this along was the Communications Commission, the FCC, back in, I think, 2004, and forgive me if I get this wrong, they labeled the internet as free communication, basically saying that the internet service and all the internet service providers should give internet service and sell internet service in the same way that phone companies used to sell their phone services. So basically there are different rates for paying for the different services from different providers, but that's basically it. There are no controls as to what people can say on their phones or who says it, and that's the law for phones, and that was decided to be the same law for the internet, and that is what net neutrality is. So, more recently, a certain law is being proposed by the FCC that would enable internet service providers to lock down their services to anyone who uses BitTorrent sites. If they see that anyone is using BitTorrent sites or illegal downloading services, streaming, they would have the initiative and the prerogative to actually either completely remove their service or make it slower than everything else. Basically saying that if they didn't like any particular website, they could just halt or slow down all of the internet that they provide and the speed thereof to anyone who is using their service and wants to go to that site, which I think is very unconstitutional. It's completely destroying freedom of speech in a certain way, especially on the internet. And so all the gamers, I'm a big gamer on, and a big YouTuber. I'm not in terms of how famous I am. I'm just someone who watches a lot of YouTube, and this issue is coming up in a whole lot of gamer channels and videos, and I'm like, what is this and what's going on? And basically in every comment section of every YouTube video that I've seen talking about net neutrality, everyone tries to blame someone. Everyone tries to attack someone. Not all the YouTubers, but their commenters. And everyone in the comments basically says, oh, this is happening during Trump's term. This is Trump's fault. Or there are, conservatives on the other side. Those are usually liberals or Democrats. And then there are conservatives and Republicans who respond by, no, this is Obama's plan. He's the one who put this into place during his term. He was not big on net neutrality at all. And then there are other people who are like, well, no, it was Trump who put the current FCC chairman in. Ajit V is his name. He's an Indian. That's why he has that name. And it's his fault, and it's his fault, and it's their fault, and there are these huge, massive, incendiary, spiteful, political rants going on in the comments of videos like from channels like Markiplier, which is not a political channel usually. I mean, he does support certain things in his life and with his charities, but usually he never talks about politics. And the same with like, oh, who else? I don't need to get into that, but all I wanted to say, and what I said in one of the comments, is about being quick to judge. Because there is very clear, concise news on the internet for people to find that actually proves that it's not Trump's fault, and it's not really Obama's fault either. It has nothing to do, well, not really, with the big debate between the elephants and the donkeys. This is an issue with the FCC, and it's a law and an issue that always would have come up because these issues about the internet and how fast you can download things and how easily it is to pirate stuff is still an issue. And what we're seeing with the FCC is they're trying to solve this issue. They have good intentions to keep pirating from happening, but they're going about it in an unconstitutional way. And that's what we need to fight against. We need to get this proposal out of the way, but then we need to continue further discussion as to how to keep these bad illegal things from happening, and maybe they'll never be helped. Maybe they'll never be stopped. It's just like, you can go after the drug sellers, but if the law is that weed is legal in Colorado, then all you can do is go after the drug dealer and not the people using the drugs. And I think that should change, but nevertheless, that's just a metaphor for what's going on now with net neutrality. And so I just wanted to read to you what I said in a YouTube comment, because it's what I wanted to say about this. And here I go, so I'll just read it, and this is what I said. I just wanted to address the political side of the current net neutrality issue for a moment. Many in the comments and around the internet are trying to find someone to blame. Most are blaming President Trump because he's the current president. Some are blaming President Obama, and all are correctly blaming FCC Chairman Ajit V. Pai. At least to a certain extent, that's correct. It is good to figure out who is responsible, but trying to pin the blame on someone very quickly who is on the other side of your political preference, just because they're not on your political side, is ignorant, irresponsible, and vindictive. We don't have to try and blame Trump or President Obama or, any president without actually knowing the truth. It's not that easy of an issue. The truth is this. President Obama is the one who put Mr. Pai on the FCC staff originally in 2012. President Obama, and that's when Pai got on the FCC, and he's served for 5 years now. And so just as kind of an example of President Obama's stance on this issue, I say, President Obama then strengthened net neutrality during his term. I think in 2014, he basically reinvigorated the argument that the internet is basically a telecommunications service, and it should be treated as such, strengthening his continuing support of net neutrality in general, overall. In January 2017, President Trump had Mr. Pai confirmed as chairman of the FCC for a 5-year term, another 5-year term on the FCC itself. Ajit Pai also showed in 2015 his support of the then current laws of net neutrality. If you look up on Wikipedia, Ajit Pai, and then you go down to where, what his thoughts are on net neutrality, it'll just show that he supported net neutrality one time. And it's like, well, wait, he's doing something else now. So Ajit Pai showed his support of net neutrality, and now he and the FCC are, according to us on just watching, this is all based on, just my personal, what everyone sees when they look at net neutrality. This is how it is, that the FCC has made a 180 and is basically saying that net neutrality should be very specific to good websites and not to bad websites. That net neutrality should be specific instead of universal. excluding BitTorrents and downloadable sites and such. And so my point is that it's not Obama's fault, it's not Trump's fault, it may not even be completely Mr. Pie's fault. It's a proposal made by the FCC in general, and the chairman speaks the FCC's will. And so that's what I'm getting across. Obama may have been somewhat wrong in choosing Pi, but apparently he had no idea that Pi would be making this sort of a proposal in the future, in 2017. And I don't think Trump had any idea of that either. He's the first Indian to be on the FCC in that measure of authority, and I don't think anyone foresaw that this would come about, that he would be basically attacking net neutrality as it has been, which is giving power to the consumer to do what they want on the internet. And it's a very, murky issue. Like, there are porn sites and, terrorist sites that are being monitored by the government, but they're not doing anything about them because of this whole issue of net neutrality and freedom of speech. And so these things are definitely, I think they definitely need to be changed. Something needs to happen to where we can keep terrorists from actually making sites like this. But would that actually impede freedom of speech? I think that the porn industry needs to be shut down, basically. But would that impede freedom of speech? If so, then the whole issue needs to be come at in a different way. So anyway, this is my point. We need to get over our petty political differences, even if they're not petty, even if they're actually, based on reality and truth. We need to get over that on every specific issue and work together, because everyone in the comments of all of these videos that I'm seeing all agree that net neutrality is a good thing and needs to be kept and protected, and that this new proposal needs to be shot down out of the sky. And yet, they're arguing over, is it Trump's fault? Is it Obama? Is it the Democrats or the Republicans? And it's like, just stop it. Just stop it. We all don't want this to happen. So let's just focus on that and not be quick to judge. I myself have been quick to judge in the past and been shown to be wrong. I don't like President Obama. I never liked President Obama. I think that most of what he did was wrong, but at the same time, he did support net neutrality. That's kind of shocking to me because I wouldn't expect him to do anything good in life. But he's not an evil man, and neither is Donald Trump. People have great reasons for supporting Donald Trump and for voting him into office, and that's just the way it is, folks. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Just by way of a quick update, I haven't really been making much review or commentary or vlog recently. Haven't been doing any anime stuff, which I'm rather sad about, but I'm only able to do what I'm able to do. And recently I've been pretty sick in my body. I have chronic fatigue and chronic pain, and that's been keeping me from doing the reviews I want to do. I want to go over all of the different Batman movies and review those. And I also want to review some anime. I want to get on One Punch Man and Imoto Umaru-chan, and but we'll see how it works. I may not be able to do that this week, maybe next week. We'll see how it goes. So, again, thanks for watching. Support me on Patreon if you think my videos are worth anything. And, yeah, have a great day. God bless.